I'm going shopping with Erin. I won't be back until evening, so Kelly, you can feel free to take a break and relax.
I read the text from my mother-in-law. I had planned on dropping Erin off at her place while I treated myself to a salon visit. I tried reaching Susan, but my calls went unanswered, probably because she was driving. That's when I remembered the GPS tag I had affixed to Erin's clothes as a safety measure. On checking the app, I noticed the GPS moving at a speed consistent with cars heading in a specific direction. As from the trajectory, it seemed like they were heading to the local department store. The GPS signal then halted in what looked like a department store's parking lot. I hastily hailed a taxi and sped off to the parking lot.
No way.
If my suspicions were correct, I'd never forgive Susan. I'm Kelly, a full-time mom since our little Erin was born. I'd hoped to juggle work and childcare, but knowing my husband John's irregular work hours at the office, I quit my job. That's as expected. Post Erin's birth, John was swamped even on weekends, leaving all household and childcare duties to me. Just around the same time, my mother-in-law, Susan, retired, having nothing particular to do and plenty of time on her hands. Seeing my struggle with Erin alone, she decided to lend a hand, often dropping by our house.
Kelly, I'm here to help. I'll hold Erin so you can get some chores done.
Hold on, her neck isn't stable yet. She can't be held up, right? Did we discuss this yesterday?
Oh, did we? Isn't it good to start neck exercises early, though?
That's not how it works.
She had a habit of taking care of Erin as she saw fit, making it hard for me to trust her. I figured she must have some experience raising John, right? So during a visit to my father-in-law's, I asked, did Susan handle John the same way when he was a baby?
She always prioritized work. When John was born, she was keen on getting back to work immediately, leaving me to handle all the baby duties. She always prioritized work. When John was born, she was keen on getting back to work immediately, leaving me to handle all the baby duties.
Now I understand why she seemed clueless about childcare. I hesitantly suggested a childcare book to her.
Why don't you give this a read? Elsewhere, it's got a lot of useful stuff.
She gave the book a dismissive look. Who has time to read such a hefty book? You can find everything on the internet these days. It's much faster to search as needed.
Her response left me unable to argue further. She continued to care for Erin her way, never bothering to look up any childcare advice. Kelly, I'm here to help. Oh, is she crying? Yes, I was making her food and couldn't get to her. Can you please check her diaper? When did you last change it? Right before I started making food, but she might have gone again. After a casual diaper check, she shrugged and said, yeah, she did go, but I think it's still okay. Upstairs.
What do you mean it's okay? And you asked that she gestures towards the diaper package. It says it observes twice the amount. If you've just changed it, it should be okay for another round, right? But if she's fine, we should change it right away.
And saving money and time on childcare is important, you know? Babies cry, that's their job.
Ignoring me, she mutters and starts to soothe a crying Erin, but she won't stop crying if she's uncomfortable. Finally, I tell her I'll change the diaper. Can you help with the baby food? All you have to do is divide this soup in this pot into small containers.
Oh, you are fussing over the diaper? You're so uptight, Kelly.
Exercise ignoring her jibe. I change Erin's diaper while comforting her. Returning to the kitchen, the baby food clearly looks different.
Susan, will you put something in this? Oh, I thought it needed some seasoning, so I add some salt and pepper. I said this is baby food, right? This is something that Erin will eat.
Well, such bland food is terrible. A baby's taste is different from an adult's. She'll get used to adult seasoning eventually. Why not start now? It'll save you the trouble of making separate meals.
I'm speechless. I can't believe she's seasoning Erin's food like it's meant for an adult. Restraints. Realizing that she's not going to change her ways, I decide not to let her take care of Erin anymore. When she visits, I assign her tasks that won't cause any harm.
Kelly, what can I help with? Well, maybe you could push Erin's stroller when we go for our walk. What? Just that? You should rely on me more.
Yes, thank you. Your feelings alone enough.
Despite her dissatisfaction, she keeps visiting and I let her play with Erin while keeping a close eye on them. As Erin grows older, Susan does prove helpful in keeping her occupied while I handle household chores. However, I may have been a bit complacent in my daily life.
Kelly, when's the last time you went to the salon?
Since Erin was born.
See, I'll watch Erin. Why don't you go during that time? It's okay, go. You need some time for yourself once in a while. Erin's already 1-year-old. It's okay for her to have some time away from Mom.
Surely, once a baby, it's their first birthday. The way you hold them and the attention to their meals isn't as critical. Maybe it wouldn't hurt to leave Erin with Susan for an hour or so while I go to the salon. Then I'll take you up on your offer. And story, Erin is left in Susan's care at her place while I head off to the salon. However, once separated, I couldn't shake off my worries about my baby girl. Cutting my blow-dry session short, I rushed to Susan's to collect Erin, only to find her car missing and the doorbell unanswered. As a wave of unease hit me, and I hastily rang the doorbell, but to no avail. As I pulled out my phone to call Susan, I noticed a message from her. I'm going shopping with Erin. I won't be back until an evening. So I tried reaching Susan, but my calls went unanswered, probably because she was driving. That's when I remembered the GPS tag I had affixed to Erin's clothes as a safety measure. On checking the app, I noticed the GPS moving at a speed consistent with a car heading in a specific direction. From the trajectory, it seemed like they were heading to the local department store. The GPS signal then halted in what looked like the department store's parking lot.
No way. If my suspicions were correct, I'd never forgive Susan.
I stillly hailed a taxi and sped off to the parking lot. It was 3 hours later when I finally saw Susan again, dumbfounded at the sight of me in the department store parking lot, holding Erin, just with her car nearby. Now surrounded by paramedics and police officers, its window broken.
What is this? Kelly, why are you here? What happened to my car?
As where we were skiing.
Rescued? How did you know that Erin and I were here?
I attached a GPS tag to her clothes for safety. After seeing your message, I immediately checked the location, so I knew you two were in this parking lot.
It's okay to go shopping. You didn't have to come.
As I kept monitoring the GPS, Erin's location didn't move from the parking lot for more than 5 minutes.
Clutching the worn-out sleeping Erin, I continued in a tight voice.
I feared that she might be left alone in the parking lot and rushed over, and then I found Erin crying in the car.
It's 95 degrees Fahrenheit outside. The temperature inside a car left on a rooftop parking lot must be significantly higher.
I thought Erin's life was in danger, so I tried to reach you to unlock the car, but you didn't respond to my calls.
Hurriedly checked her phone, seeing my missed calls for the first time. I didn't notice any calls while shopping. It's an exaggeration to say her life is in danger. It's better to let her sleep rather than wake her up and make her fussy.
Exaggeration, the temperature inside a car during summer rises dramatically in just a few minutes. Leaving a child in such conditions can quickly lead to heat stroke.
The paramedics around us nodded vigorously in agreement with my words.
Ma'am, the mother here did the right thing by calling 911 right away. He issued instructions to help her child as quickly as possible before we arrived. And
Instructions?
Dries and instructed Susan to break the car window and unlock it, which is what she did.
You broke the car window. So you made this mess? This is property damage? This car is brand new. You need to compensate me for this?
A policeman nearby calmly responded to her.
Breaking the window was the right action to save the child's life, and it falls under lawful self-defense, therefore it doesn't qualify as property damage. Gerst is the one who might face legal repercussions, is you. Leaving a small child inside a car in extreme heat could be viewed as neglect by a caregiver, which is a crime.
What are you accusing me of?
Unchieta, you put a small child's life at risk?
Hold on, I was just shopping. I would never dream of harming my own grandchild.
We'll discuss this further at the station.
Station? Why do I have to go there? Somebody please help.
Despite her protest, Susan was escorted to the police station for further questioning. She had completely forgotten about Erin because he was sleeping quietly when she left. Even at the police station, she continued making excuses. Even at the police station, she continued making excuses. However, after checking the driver's recorder in the car, we quickly realized she was lying.
If she's asleep, there's no need to take her along. She would have just gotten in the way while shopping. Sleep well, Erin.
These words confirmed that she had intentionally left Erin in the car. Caught in her own web of lies, she then argued that she didn't think leaving Erin in the car could endanger her life. If she's asleep, there's no need to take her along. She would have just gotten in the way while shopping. Sleep well, Erin. She showed no remorse for her actions, helping with childcare. Erin almost lost her life.
In phase, she retorted in the end. She's fine and happy. I did nothing wrong. Yet she was held in custody. All because you made a big fuss, Kelly.
As I stood there in disbelief, unable to respond in a triumphant manner, she turned to John, seeking support. However, he did not take her side.
Honey, tell her not to stir up family trouble anymore.
Be one disturbing the family as you, Susan. You endangered a precious grandchild and show no sign of remorse. I can't stay with a person like that. I want a divorce.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about all of a sudden?
As of being detained, has made you change your attitude. I thought I could support you, but you show no remorse. I can't even imagine wanting to be with someone like you.
What? John, you are on your mom's side, right? You've always been diligent at your job. You'd understand my feelings, right, John?
Appreciate all the hard work you put in for our family, Mom, but I can't overlook you blaming Kelly, especially when it endangered our precious daughter.
Her outburst made her realize she was alone in her corner, leading her to lash out in frustration.
What is it with you all people? If you want a divorce, fine, but I bought this house. If anyone's leaving, it should be you.
What are you talking about? You're the one who didn't want your earnings spent out of a mortgage and insist the house be put under my name. Actually, I paid the mortgage entirely from my salary. So, if someone has to leave, it should be you.
Susan stuttered as she seemed to remember her past actions. Well, maybe you did pay the mortgage, but I contributed to the living expenses too. I also put half of my earnings toward living expenses. Maybe you don't understand this, Susan, since you've never managed household finances.
What? I thought the household couldn't run without me.
Appreciated how energetic you were at work, Susan, so I willingly took on the household chores and, raised my child. But in hindsight, we should have co-parented regardless of how busy we were.
I was like this when I was there, I regret not being more involved in Erin's upbringing, even if it's too late now. If I had stood up to my wife and your influence on her sooner, Erin might not have been in such danger.
Why is everyone siding with Kelly? Are you choosing Kelly over your wife?
It's not about choosing. I just can't live with you anymore, Susan.
Atir attempts to convince Paul to reconsider the divorce. It was clear his decision was firm. After the divorce, Susan was forced to move out and rented a cheap apartment in the suburbs where she led a lonely retirement.
Kelly, I'm truly sorry. I'll let you handle the hardest parts alone. But from now on, I want to step up as a husband and a father. Can you give me another chance? Sorry, are you sure? Yeah, I plan to contribute more as well. And you?
From then on, he made a point to balance his time between work and family, cherishing his moments with Erin and me. And now we're expecting another addition to our family. Back when I was raising Erin on my own, I couldn't imagine having the bandwidth to raise another child. But with John by my side now, I'm confident we can properly raise Erin and the baby that's on the way, as a team. So moving forward, with John by my side, I renew my commitment to raising our children properly.